My name's Brad, for anyone who doesn't know me. And this morning we are starting a little interview series, a little tack on to the Set Free to Worship sermon series that we started off today. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be having a look at this thing called Pathways to Worship. So we're going to be exploring the different ways in which we worship God, the different pathways to glorify Him. And so we're going to be doing this over 7 weeks. We're going to be interviewing 7 people who relate or worship God in different ways. And so we're going to be looking at these 7. Well, the first one is the intellectual, so drawing closer to God as they learn more about Him. Another one is relational, so have a deep sense of God's presence when involved in deep relationships. Next one is serving, so God's presence is most tangible when they're helping others. Another one is creative, so have a natural gift for expression and celebration through the arts. Another is activist, so feel closest to God when they are active or working for a cause larger than themselves. Contemplation, so God's most present when you remove the distractions. And the final one will be creation, so connecting with God through what He has made. And over these interviews, we're going to be asking 4 questions in each to get a bit of a perspective on how these individuals worship. And so we're going to be looking at how they describe worship. We're going to be looking at what are some of the ways in which they worship, why they worship so strongly through that particular pathway, and also looking at their attitude towards worship too. So this morning, to kick things off, just to give you a bit of an idea about what we're going to be doing, Nathaniel is actually going to interview me. Funnily enough.
That tricked you, didn't it?
Okay. So this morning we're going to be looking at the relational pathway. This is actually this one here. This is actually a picture of Claudia in Death Valley over in the United States, and it was a really crazy place. Hottest temperature ever recorded was there, so it was like living in an oven. But there were all these pathways everywhere. Like there were no roads. Like in this picture, you can't see roads or tracks, but you could kind of go any direction wherever you wanted. And so there were multiple pathways to get to where you wanted to go. So, shall we have a look at some of the questions?
Great, good. Well, thanks for coming along, Brad, and
You're welcome.
agreeing to be interviewed.
Happy to be here this morning.
So, how would you describe worship then?
When I was thinking about this question, I thought of a quote by a guy called Saint Irenaeus, who was an old school saint of the church, pretty epic guy, really early on, so 2nd century, so he was around at the beginning. And he said that the glory of God is man fully alive. And it got me thinking about the life that Jesus brings and how when we fully grasp hold of that and journey with Jesus, that worship is just a natural byproduct of that, which I think is quite cool, that worship can be a lifestyle. Yeah.
So with that, what are some of the ways that you worship God through relationships in that pathway?
For me, I love people. I love being around people. Claudia gets a bit annoyed that I just want to hang out with people all the time. We come home from like a wedding and I want to go and have dinner with someone or something like that, and she just wants to sit home and watch Netflix. But I just love being around people, and I find that when I journey with people, get the opportunity to journey with them, that I feel a really strong connection to God as well as that person. And so really through discipleship is how I worship, through relationships. And I see that in the relationships I've got with the youth and young adults. I just get so excited about Jesus at work in their life. Even this morning, you can Tim and Georgia aren't here because they're over at Victory doing a puppet show and stuff like that. So they're out there serving. Jeremy's up north. He's at a conference. Petra's doing awesome stuff with video. It's just really exciting journeying with young people. So that's how I worship, through the relationships.
Yep. So why do you think you relate so strongly to this way of worshiping?
I guess I kind of just answered that. I just love people, and God's heart is for people, and so I just really connect with it through that. I feel as though when I'm really in sync with God's will, which sometimes doesn't happen, and really discipling, which sometimes is easy, sometimes not. I feel as though that's why I relate so strongly to it, just because I really, really enjoy it, and yeah, find I kind of naturally go into it that way. Yeah.
Yep. So over the years, has your attitude or understanding of worship changed, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I came to faith about 6 years ago, university up in Wellington, and when I kind of first came into a church, I came in really cold, so I was just like, I had no idea about the culture, and so they'd talk about worship up the front of church, like, let's worship now, and so I kind of naturally thought, oh man, worship must just be like songs on Sunday, and which is not so much more than that. And so over like the 6 years, like God's really transformed my understanding of that into worship is a lifestyle. Worship is something that we do in each moment of the day, or can choose to. And so yeah, that's kind of how it's transformed over the 6 years.
Great, good. Thank you for that, Brad.
You're welcome. So that's the relational pathway.
Yep.
So we're going to be doing these over the next 7 weeks, just exploring ways in which different people worship God, the different pathways to worship. So thanks.
Great, thank you.
Should we stand and sing? Shall we worship?